Yes, there is scientific evidence that is consistent with the Vedic idea that the conscious self or soul is something different than the gross physical body. Evidence for this comes, for example, from medical studies of out-of-body experiences. There are times when a person should be completely unconscious. For example, during a heart attack, the heart stops beating, blood stops flowing to the brain. Medical instruments show that the brain waves stop. At a time like that, a person should be completely unconscious. Yet many people in that condition report separating from their bodies and then looking down and seeing and hearing what the doctors and nurses trying to revive them are doing. There was an American heart surgeon named Michael Sabom who heard reports like this from his patients, and he wanted to know, are these people telling the truth or are they just making up some story? So here's what he did. He took 25 heart attack patients who had reported these experiences, and he carefully interviewed each one of them. He asked each one of them, tell me exactly what did you see the doctors and nurses doing? And he carefully recorded this information. Then he compared those reports with the reports kept by the doctors and nurses who had treated them, because they keep very detailed records of all the details of the treatment. And those reports are not seen by the patients. Dr. Sabom found that the descriptions of the out-of-body experiences given by the people who had reported them matched the descriptions given by the doctors and nurses themselves about what they were doing. In other words, what these heart attack patients said they saw the doctors and nurses doing was confirmed by what the doctors and nurses themselves had written in their detailed reports. So, Dr. Sabom took this as evidence that, yes, these people were telling the truth. They had actual experiences in which they separated from their bodies and consciously observed things happening outside the body. This evidence showing that a conscious self can separate from the brain, separate from the physical body, and then re-enter the same body leads to another idea. And that is that a conscious self can go from one physical body into another. Of course, this is the idea of reincarnation. And there is some scientific evidence for this. It comes from psychiatric studies of past life memories. Dr. Ian Stevenson of the University of Virginia Medical School in the United States and his colleagues have studied thousands of cases of past life memories reported by young children. In over 800 of these cases, they were able to verify the existence of the person the child claimed to have been in the past life. And this is evidence that a conscious self can exist apart from the body and can enter another body. There is further evidence for a conscious self that can exist apart from the body. It comes from psychological studies of prenatal memories. Prenatal memories means memories that a child experiences within the womb of the mother before birth. There's an extensive medical literature on this. Dr. Jenny Wade, who is a developmental psychologist in the United States, published a book about these experiences called Changes of Mind. It was published by the State University of New York Press. So it's an academic publication. In this book, she gives many accounts of these prenatal memories. Sometimes these are recovered by hypnotic regression. Sometimes these memories are directly reported, by children. In many of them, the child reports being separate from the embryo in the womb of the mother and looking at it. And then only after a long time does the conscious self begin to identify with the embryo and then enter into it and accept the embryonic body as its body. So after hearing these reports, Dr. Jenny Wade concluded there must be a transcendent self that is different than the physical body. And we have to keep in mind that at this time of development of the embryo, there is no developed brain that could produce these kinds of sensations. So it's very interesting scientific evidence for the existence of a conscious self apart from the physical body.